I'm the sports professor, Rick Horrow. Welcome to Beyond the Scoreboard, Inside the Mega Events. It's a trillion-dollar sports business, to be sure, and about 50 to 60% of those dollars are wrapped up in the mega events, the championships, Super Bowls, All-Star Games, World Series, Wimbledon, tennis majors, golf majors, NASCAR championships, IndyCar championships, Ryder Cup. All of those too numerous to mention. I'm in my office to kick off the show, but I'm not here a lot. I'll be on the road on a weekly basis to bring you the inside tips from those major events. The balance sheets, who wins, who loses, the interviews, how you put on the events, and how you sustain them. This is all brought to you by Edelman Financial.
Money doesn't come with instructions. That's why we created Edelman Financial Services to help you with everything from college and retirement planning to managing your investments, helping you achieve retirement security. We're among the nation's top financial advisors. Come see how we can help you.
Sports Professor Rick Horrow. Hard Rock Stadium. It's really Hard Rock Tennis Center when you think about it. It's hard to believe that on February 4, 1985, the first tennis ball was bounced at the Lipton Tennis Tournament in Delray Beach. Butch Buchholz, founder, nearly 20, 30, long time from then, the tennis tournament morphs into a executive director of this event. We'll talk to him in a few minutes. But the bottom line is, people didn't think this could happen. People thought it would move to Orlando or somewhere else as a event coming off of Indian Wells. And to Steve Ross's credit, part of the $500 million renovation that'll cause Super Bowls, major events, college football playoffs, concerts, and the like. This is a tennis facility. It is not just a football stadium. When you take a look at how tennis is $45 million in revenue, 1 years old, some work to do there. As far as the WTA is concerned, about 395 million viewers of WTA championships. The money is there because the fans are being told it's very important to latch on to superstars, and for every Serena Williams who is well. Take a look at the future of participatory tennis. 2014, according to the Tennis Industry Association, the 6 to 12-year-old age bracket increased about 4%. That's big, and that's important. A couple of stats which are really important on the other side, though. 1 out of every 4 tennis players in the U.S. is under the age of 18, which is good. 30% of the tennis players are college graduates, which is also good as far as corporations that are willing to sponsor it. The number of frequent players in the industry grown by 5%, but are over age 45. So there are mixed signals. Corporate involvement, facilities, tenacity, and governance. As we talk to people like James Blake, who have a hand in all of that, we'll see how all of that works out in the future. Tennis, you currently and alive and well. Speak with you soon.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Oliver Gilbert. I'm the mayor of Miami Gardens, and I have 2 things I'm supposed to do while I'm up here, but I'm going to stray just a little bit. The first thing is to welcome you to the city of Miami Gardens. Welcome to Miami Gardens. Thank you. Listen, this is my hometown. It's the 3rd largest city in Miami-Dade County, the largest predominantly black city in the state of Florida, but most of all, it's a place that's embracing community. And that leads me into the second thing. My second charge today is to introduce a truly extraordinary individual. A man who could look at a world-class football stadium and see a world-class tennis venue. A man who could say, no, it can be done in record time. A man who could allow us to turn a parking lot into a world-class concert every year. A man who's been a true partner, not just to Miami Gardens, but Miami-Dade County. When I say that, what I mean is he helps bring events here. The Super Bowl in 2020, the Miami Tennis Open this year and hopefully forever. College football championships, concerts, international soccer. These things put heads in beds, and they fuel the commerce of Miami-Dade County. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you all the best owner in football and the best friend the community could have, Stephen Ross. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to be known as the best host for a tennis event in the United States. So better than a football, well, I wouldn't say it's better than a football team, but it's something very exciting. We had this vision 2 years ago of keeping the Miami Open in Miami. We were able to form a partnership with IMG to keep them here. Tom Garfinkel and Jeremy Walls from our team has worked together tirelessly and has done a great job, as you can see, in turning this facility into a first-class tennis facility. I am proud of how we've put this together and are excited to see the people's reactions this weekend, because there are so many skeptics that are out there. We will have the greatest tennis players in the world, and we will really be treating them to a great luxury experience as a tournament. And we want to get their reaction, as well as all the fans that will be coming here to see and expecting to see a great tournament, which that will undoubtedly be with the players we have. But it's exciting to see, and I'm sure they are, and the reaction we've heard so far, they were skeptical, and they're really seeing that we are in Miami know how to put on a great event, and this will be a great home for the future of the Miami Open. IMG has been a great partner in putting this together and working together with us in creating this tournament here in Miami Gardens. So I'd like to introduce at this time James Blake, the tournament director, former great player.
Thank you, Mr. Ross. Thank you for everyone coming out. Come to think of it, I can't believe that it was just a year ago Mr. Ross and I were standing here breaking ground. For anyone that's ever built a house, to think that this could be built in just 1 year is absolutely amazing. I really am proud of the efforts of IMG wanting to make the commitment to keep this event in Miami. And then what they did was partner with the vision, the developer, Stephen Ross, to make this a possibility. I'm a tennis player, so I'm used to playing singles. I feel like this is a perfect doubles partnership, though. I played a little doubles, and we got a great partner with IMG and Stephen Ross, like the Bryans or the Woodies. We've made a great team to see this vision come to life. And I'm just thrilled that it happened in just 1 year, and it's still in Miami, this wonderful city. Thank you, Mayor, for having us here as well. This event is, the future is something that's so incredible for me to think about. We're here from thinking about the past a year ago to where we are today, to what the future holds for this event. Seeing these kind of seats, this kind of a format, this kind of a venue, the only limit is really our imagination. So I'm excited for how this tournament can grow and become, if not the greatest tournament, if not the greatest tournament in the world, one of the greatest tournaments and one of the greatest entertainment spectacles in all of sports. So I'm extremely excited about this year kicking it off and then getting the ball rolling and making this an amazing event. So thank you everyone for being here. I'm excited to present you with the new Miami Open.
Sports professor Rick Horrow inside the boardroom beyond the scoreboard. It's $1 trillion sports business, but the bottom line is that the reason why it's so successful is because entrepreneurs take stadiums and facilities and turn them into things that nobody originally intended them to be when they started. And so Steve Ross and his $500 million investment, and we're in the middle of Hard Rock Stadium right now. To our left is a major tennis tournament. To our right is the parking lot where people said it wouldn't be built. And it was. Jeremy Wall's one of the masterminds for the Hard Rock Stadium folks and the Miami Dolphins. How are you?
I'm doing great.
I could have gone on and on, but I want this to be your moment in the sun as well. So I make believe I have it here. I just left it at home. But on February 4, 1985, I was part of the original committee that Butch Buchholz put together. 10 members of a sports advisory group in town, just meant I'm old. And he said, I want to put together an event. We'll do it at the Laver Tennis Center in Delray. Then he went down to Key Biscayne. Then he went here. But he didn't have enough money to give us jackets. So he gave us these little patches that we put on jackets. And I still have it. This tournament has come a long way, hasn't it?
It has come a long way. And as you know, it was going to leave Key Biscayne. You said mastermind. That's not the mastermind behind this is Stephen Ross. And then Tom Garfinkel's leadership. But he did not want the tournament to leave. And so he came to us a couple years ago with this vision of building an amazing tennis tournament campus here at Hard Rock Stadium. And so we spent the last couple of years putting that plan together, and it's been a really fun journey.
And it's also compatible because when the original site was chosen by Joe Robbie way, way, way back when in the leather helmet days, this was really vacant land, and nobody knew that Miami Gardens would now be the center of such significant activity, and the economic impact of this event alone, I'm reminded, is over $300 million.
Right. I mean, it is, Steve has turned Miami Gardens, Hard Rock Stadium into a global entertainment destination.
Right.
And I think, between the investment in the stadium and the Dolphins and now with this major tournament, we couldn't be more excited.
So describe the skepticism. I mean, we'll get to the numbers and the improvements net now. And it is interesting and easy to look at people who said they were never against it. But there were not enemies, but there were challenges early, right?
Rick, I mean, you know how it is. A lot of people don't like change.
Right.
And so we're used to having the tournament, beautiful Key Biscayne. And when they heard it was moving, kind of looked past the fact that, hey, at least it's not moving.
Right.
But we're frustrated and kind of curious. How are you going to pull this off in a football NFL stadium? How are you going to pull this off in what was perceived as a parking lot? And so we spent the last year and a half really on a mission to make a first impression. We knew that people will try it, but they're going to decide whether or not they like it and whether or not they're going to come back. So our goal was simple, to make a first impression that made them want to come back. And so we spent $70 million just to build this permanent campus, which is 29 courts, plus the 14,000 seat stadium court, which to my knowledge there hasn't been another. I know there's been matches in NFL stadiums, but never a permanent kind of pop-up stadium within a stadium, which is what we did here.
And of course, all of the Dome Stadium people and even the Open Stadium people around the country that have built their multi-purpose stadiums but haven't even contemplated tennis. I'm sure we talked that off the air. People are going to pay you visits either through the front door or through the side door to see what you did here.
We've had several tours already of different countries and cities looking to potentially replicate this type of event, whether it be tennis or other sports. I can tell you from our end, our vision here has been, let's start with world-class tennis, which is the Miami Open, but then how do we turn it into an experience, the best food, wine, art festival on top of that, in a great city like Miami, and that's what we focused on.
Now, how much of that will be year-round activity here? Is a lot of this just 2 weeks and gone, or are you going to try as hard as you can to keep a lot of this around for year-round?
So the campus is about half of it is permanent. The grandstand, which is a 5,000-seat venue, all the tournament courts are permanent, and then some of the activations throughout the campus will remain, but then some others will repurpose. Right, we might on some of the practice courts do some higher end tailgating for Dolphins games. So we're still looking at that.
Yeah, and of course, the beauty of acreage, access, capital, and vision together means you can do a lot of stuff.
Right. It is. the sky's the limit. I think now that people have seen the campus, Rick, we've focused on really kind of curating the best restaurants in town, right? We just don't want to have a food court out there with some turf. We built lots of different spaces. We have Casa Tua here. We have Michael Mina Bourbon Steak, Bluestone Lane. And so when people show up on the campus, the food options they have, they could hang out in a different area of the campus every day and have a totally different experience.
Right.
We have acoustic artists performing, DJs at different parts of the campus. We have an Art Miami pop-up, which you saw, which is, there's Picassos on campus here, which has been really fun. We had to turn away artists actually this year because there was so much interest in being part of this event.
Can see Pablo Picasso and then Ryan Fitzpatrick within a 2-hour span in the fall.
And Roger Federer.
I forgot about Roger Federer. So, and the other piece of this, as far as the need for sports and entertainment these days, obviously a tennis event is a 2-week event, but it's also culture and entertainment as well. And I assume you looked at some inspiration from Wimbledon to French, but also domestically, the Tennis Garden out at Indian Wells and the U.S. Open to gather some best practices.
Yeah, I think, look, we studied lots of different events throughout the world. Australian Open does a lot of amazing things from an entertainment standpoint, food standpoint. Indian Wells clearly raised the bar in a lot of ways. U.S. Open, they're the standard. And so we kind of pulled from all them. We also made a point working with Tom Garfinkel, who just has such great vision on positioning ourselves differently, right? Mm-hmm. We have luxury seating that is unlike anything in tennis. Some of the big, huge Barca Lounger chairs that we have and right on the court, and some of these, we popped up these kind of cabana suites that have this high-end African safari type feel to them. We wanted to create some things that were different.
Which was part of the original vision of the $500 million football stadium renovation.
Right.
Yeah.
So little did we know when we built that we would eventually use it for tennis, but it really, the fans, it's been fun watching them show up and sit in the seats and to see their reaction. It's been big. Has
it been fun to tail around with the cynics and say, basically, I told you so, don't forget what you did?
I definitely don't say I told you so, but I love taking off my credential and walking around the campus as a fan and just listening to people talk.
Yeah.
Because that's the best case study you can do, is to hear it straight from them, and it's been positive.
What's the tie-in over the next year with the Super Bowl as it relates to a seamless transition to next year's Miami Open? That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this year we had a couple months to get this stadium popped up within a stadium.
Right.
Next year we're going to have a little tighter window, so we'll have everything stored and ready to go. And as soon as we're able to, as soon as Super Bowl's over, we will build the campus again for the Miami Open.
So, what's the message to people who say that football stadiums don't generate economic impact and they're only single purpose? I think I know the message, but let me tee it up for you.
Yeah, thank you. We're unique to maybe some other stadiums. We're in Miami, which, as you know, is a major market, has great art, food, music, sports. So our stadium, we've tried to create this global destination, entertainment destination, where we'll have we have more tennis than any stadium in the country, more international soccer than any stadium in the country, plus the Miami Dolphins, the NFL, more Super Bowls. So we tried to create this venue, and we're Hard Rock Stadium, which makes us a really interesting, fun concert venue,
right,
just because of the name alone. And Rolling Stones are starting their tour here in April here at Hard Rock Stadium. And so the impact's been big for the area, South Florida, as well as Miami Gardens. And we're fortunate to have the support of the mayors here as well. So it's big.
All right, put you on the spot. Last question. 5 years from now, what special surprise will you have that you haven't told us about yet? What are we looking forward to 5 years from now?
Well, if there's one thing I've learned about Stephen Ross, and it's my favorite thing, is you never know what's next.
Right.
He came from Hudson Yards opening straight to the Miami Open opening within a couple of days of each other. And so Steve's going to continue to push us and continue to have big ideas. And so I can't give you a specific now. I can just tell you we're not done. Yep. And Steve cares about South Florida, and we have lots more ideas of how to take this to the next level.
Steve and Tom with the vision, and thankfully you're here to implement it. Jeremy Walsh, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
About the joy of playing in Miami. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I live just a little bit down the road, so it's super cool, and I truly feel like I'm at home, and it's really awesome to kind of play in Miami, and especially since I live here.
I mean, and it's a much shorter commute, so that'll save some time.
Definitely much shorter. Yeah, and it's great.
Miss Key Biscayne.
I love the stadium. It's truly one of a kind, literally. It's truly amazing. And it's just one that I've never seen a stadium like this before. I don't think we ever will. And I'm glad to be able to witness it and play in it and, enjoy it.
Serena.
Pardon?
You had so many great memories and victories in Key Biscayne.
I know. I've had so many unbelievable memories in Key Biscayne, but it's now time for me and the tour and everyone else that's been here today, Roger, Novak, Naomi, to start to create new memories at Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium.
What does this mean to you as part owner?
As part owner, it's actually super cool because we worked really hard on this, and it's great. It's always I've never played at a tournament where I'm part owner of it, and it's super exciting. It's super cool. So I'm happy.
Well, I mean, we don't have new arenas, new setups coming every day, in our sport. I don't want to say in a negative way we're stuck in our ways sometimes, but innovation is not our forte in our sport, So standing here in this stadium right now, really you see the magnitude of what kind of an arena this is, and I think it's a big, massive moment in our sport, to be quite honest, because Key Biscayne has been really a special place for the tennis tour to stop by all the time, and Miami has been a place that was one of my first trips as a junior back in the under 14 Orange Bowl, 16 Flamingo Park, Biltmore, and then at 18 I played at Key Biscayne. So I've been coming here, on and off for the last 20 something years, 25 years. So now be here is a big deal, and I really mean it if I say it's a mega event for us.
What about a football field? You're standing on a football field. Do you ever think something like that could happen in your sport?
I mean, I have played in soccer stadiums, around the world when we've had some Davis Cup ties, when they put us in a corner, and it was also amazing I played in front of 25, 30,000 people, so that was very special. But not in an NFL stadium. So I went to Arizona to see the Super Bowl back in the day. I actually went to the Dolphins Stadium, the old one, I think back in '95. Was it the Orange Bowl Stadium still? Yeah, so to be here now, I don't know, it's just very special and moves me really a lot to be in such a massive stadium.
Roger, when you first heard about this, were you skeptical, and now that you see how it turned out, are you really blown away?
No, not skeptical. I understand the reasons behind the move. In some ways, it's mixed feelings. I'm sad for Key Biscayne because I know how much the fans and the players kind of love that place, but it couldn't grow in any way. And Indian Wells is growing more and more and more, so I understand the pressure that the tournament was under and wanting to be able to grow too. And I think they found this stadium, and with the owner here, they saw opportunities that you just cannot have in Key Biscayne. So I see it as a very happy day, a good day, and I'm sure once the fans flock to the stadiums and they pack this place out, it's going to be unbelievable.
Okay, thank you. You participated in the ribbon cutting today.
Yeah, it's nice to be part of the ribbon cutting. I mean, they asked me to do it, and I was like, yeah, I'm in. I'm happy to do it. It's a moment in time, in our sport, and I think if you get an opportunity to be part of something like this, you should do it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Roger, thank you.
Hello, everybody.
Any mixed feelings about the move? I mean, such great memories of Key Biscayne. Mixed emotions?
Yeah, of course, but very exciting times right now, being here at Hard Rock Stadium now and seeing, what's going to come our way the next years. I think it's very exciting for us, the players. Of course, we look back and think back of all the great matches that have happened at Key Biscayne and how important that venue has been. I go back all the way to the '98 juniors. I played there, the Orange Bowl finals, to clinch my world #1 junior title, which at the time was a massive deal for me, and coming back to win the Miami Open was a big deal. So now, of course, it's mixed feelings, but happy nevertheless. To be in the Miami Dolphins Stadium is great, and I think it's going to be awesome. And people who are part of this seem really good as well, so I think it's going to be really good. Yeah, I came here Monday to practice right away. I mean, it's the biggest stadium I've ever played in, you know. So for me, it's really exciting. I thought they were going to put the court in the corner rather than on the long stretch, you know. So they would use 2 sides and then build 2, but they actually built 3 and kept 1. And then of course we're all excited to wait and see how it is with fans, you know. So I think it's going to be great. I heard they sold more tickets than in Key Biscayne, probably they also could. And I hope that the fans also appreciate, you know, that the facilities are just bigger and better now this time around. Not yet. No, not yet. I've been up in the suites, in the dining area, so and just on the court so far because yesterday was raining all day as well. Yeah. Okay.